If it isn't my... it's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, New Atlantis is the safest city in the settled systems. How hard could your job be? Well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people. Yep. Something just came in. Scuffle over at the Dawn's Roost. Security on site handled it, but now one of them is saying the other guy stole his wedding ring. Problem is, he left without identifying the perp, so I need you to talk to Royce Elgin at the Dawn's Roost. See if you can fill in the gaps. Good. Report back here when the matter's resolved. According to the patron, the ring is valuable, but if I had to guess, not for sentimental reasons. Normally, when someone loses a valuable keepsake, they're heartbroken. The way this guy was acting, it's almost as if he lost a wallet full of creds. A restaurant over in the residential district caters to a very fancy clientele. It's the kind of place where forks come in different sizes, depending on the food. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks for coming in.
Hello there. Can I help you with something?
No, I am Gerhard.
Me? Why, to be frank, I don't do much. Not anymore, at least.
Hilarious.
And that
True,
suits me
Mr. Collins.
just fine.
I remembered his name. It's Curtis.
I now live to collect artifacts from Earth. You see,
The Hall
every
of
artifact
Macedonia,
tells a
the
story.
one that got his ship blown
Even
up by the
spoons and
Prince.
forks,
We
which
were talking
most
about
take
him,
for
but I couldn't
granted.
remember his name.
People laugh at me when
I
they see I
remember.
collect
His
old
name's
Earth
Curtis.
spoons. But think about it, friend. Spoons change the course of history. Can you imagine life without them? The usual things, I suppose. Fame, fortune, power. I'm only joking, of course. I've actually been fortunate to call New Atlantis home for many years. For a collector, like myself, I do believe there's no better place in all the settled systems. I've been charmed to make the acquaintance of many fellow old Earth enthusiasts here in New Atlantis. And that is why I continue to stay.
I do hope all of our signature dishes are unique to the Roost. You won't find anything like them anywhere.
A most unfortunate incident, complicated by the fact that both parties were inebriated. While I wasn't privy to the entire argument, Hugo and Octavio have been dining there together for quite some time. So, it was surprising to see them at each other's throats. I assume that would be the slender gentleman, Hugo Fournier. He was the one who excused himself after UC security arrived. I believe he lives in Athena Tower, although he may be checking out soon, but I would start there.
The Dawn's Roost represents the highest quality, from the ingredients to the decor. No expense is spared. Anyone who has sampled our offerings will assure you it is all worth it. My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
That movie was epic.
Definitely better than the last Interceptor.
But why did they replace the handler? I thought the actress was amazing.
She turned him down. She apparently signed on to do some Shakespeare film. King Lear, I think.
How many damned versions of Shakespeare do we need? I mean, after Kincaid's King Lear, why bother, right?
Huh? You have hidden depths, my friend.
I think the Interceptor franchise is set up for bigger and better after that movie.
Oh, I can't believe that Octavio, that liar, that manipulator, that them. Yes, the man who... Wait, what? He's accusing me of theft? The nerve of that Lothario! 5 years we were together, half a decade! And he threw it all away for that waiter. He would say that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's my property. He gifted it to me when he proposed. It's not his to return. I don't care. I'm not giving it to you. You're right. My stubbornness gets me in trouble far too often. Is that what the law says? To be honest, I am not sure. Fine. I may be extremely agitated, but I want no part of a UC prison. Here.
Crime officer? Ah, perfect. Did you manage to get the ring back? Excellent. I'm sure the victim will be pleased to know their property has been returned. You acquitted yourself well again. I dare say you might have a knack for... Here, take this. I'm starting to run out of credits. Take care.
Never would I have imagined to encounter something like these Starborn. Now I feel that rather than having answers... Yes. Regardless of how impossible they may have seemed before now, I must say that I do not like being threatened by anyone. If so, what would that be? Clearly, these Starborn are connected to the artifacts, which would mean that they are also connected to that temple you found. Did they make these things? Have they appropriated them? This all implies there is something more, something we do not yet understand. You are right. And it would seem that if we do, we may well cross paths with these Starborn again. We will need to be on our guard from now on. They seem to know much about us. Perhaps we can learn more about them to make it even. We should return to our search then. There's still so much to do.
Out there on the fringe. Found one. Easy as a needle in the stack. Hope those powers you're getting to overinflate you. Got enough egos in Constellation. Keep both eyes on the back while you're out there. Find myself thinking of the fleet. You know you can take a mark, you don't open comms. It's all storm and fire and sifting the wreckage after it's over. But if you're not so sure, you play the bully's gambit. Hope they don't challenge the threats you throw at them. Sound familiar? Maybe. All the worse for us, not knowing their intent. A striker lurking in the shadows has good reason to hide. Won't be easy to drag them into the light. You've tipped my... Jaw the words another time then.
Most people that come up to me just want an autograph or a picture. And after I've been modding all night, it gets really annoying. Oh, so it's my fault. I suppose next year you're going to tell me it's okay for fans to start stealing stuff too. My music slate's gone. Completely vanished. I had all of my new songs figured out on that thing, and someone ripped me off. Total drag. Oh man, I thought I sensed a decent aura around you when you walked up. Exactly. So, oh, and if you're looking for a lead, talk to Micah. She works the bar at Euphorica, and she's Anyway, I got to figure out how I'm going to mod my next set. Well, most of the people who come through here are fans, and they're either zoned or just digging the rhythms. That leaves collectors, competitors, or just a thief trying to make a cred. It could be anyone, really. People try to put a price on everything. Doesn't matter if it's music or the stars. If that price is big enough, you start attracting people with bad vibes and long knives. Only a matter of time before you get cut. I started playing music when I was 10. My father had an old electronic keyboard he passed down to me, and I fell in love with the thing. By the time I was 15, I got my first track and started club hopping. I was pretty young, but with my father as manager, he watched my back. 4 years later, and here I am, booked into the hottest club in the settled systems. Pretty crazy.
Love the vibe of this place. If you're planning on using Aurora, I see. I'd be willing to divulge this information for the right price. Because when you work the bar, your clients tend to be more honest than they'd like to be. And besides, information isn't a drink that you can sample. Thank you for your business. The man you want goes by the name of Stratos. You'll find him at Madame Sauvage's. He's what you would call a fan of Miss Borealis's works. Or maybe fanatic is a more accurate term. Either way, he's the one you want. But you didn't hear it. He's one of the usual lowlifes you'll find at Madame Sauvage's. He's also a very fervent admirer of Miss Borealis and her work. It wouldn't surprise me if that admiration extended to her possessions. For fans like him, trinkets and mementos are a way to get closer to the one they admire. Fallen stardust. Now sit back, relax.
If I want chill vibes, I head over to Euphorica. But Borealis works with any mood. Oh yeah, I love her music so much. You a fan of Borealis too? I vibe with that bird hard. She's a beast on the beats. And I love her. Got a track in me head right now. Boom! 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 Yeah, hear it? It's bloody mood, innit? I just need some more Aurora so I can get me head bobbing with the wave. Find that zone. You got the goods, and I'll think about it. I need a hit. Bad. Normally, I'd never leave the Astral Lounge. I can't stand being away from that place. And, but I can't listen to Borealis if I'm not zoning. That bird's song deserves the best eye Aurora can fly. Lady, there's no way in hell I'm giving you this. This slate brings me closer to her. As her biggest fan, I feel like I deserve to have it. Why would I part with the one thing that connects me to her? If you'd like to take it up with Neon Security... Right. She... Damn. I didn't realize this was a work in progress. Yeah, you got a point. I don't want to cross a boundary. As much as I hate to admit it, you're right. Okay, you can... But next time I stop by, I want to hear a mod so sick it beats the piss.
I'm a little stoned right now. So, let's take it slow, okay? I feel like I know you. A fan, really. Although, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They can get pretty possessive. Doesn't matter if it's my things or my time. Yeah, it's not all bad. Love can be toxic, or it can be beautiful. Sometimes people do. But sounds like it all worked out in the end. I've got my slate, which means the people will get their trip. Inspiration's like a wave. Sometimes it's hard to catch it before. That's what this slate is. A still wave. A feeling frozen in time. And I appreciate you bringing it back to me. Yeah, it looked like nothing was downloaded or tampered with. I'm almost glad it was taken by a fan instead of a competitor. It would have been awful to lose that thing. I was working on a brand new concept piece about floating into the center of existence. I'm not feeling it yet. I'm still working out the last few sections, but eventually I'll give it a spin in the Astral Lounge. Thanks again for finding that thing. Next time, I'll try and keep an eye on it. Sounds safe.
Mom and I stopped talking years ago. Mom didn't look good. But it was Mom. As weird, crazy, and cryptic as ever. I'm almost surprised she remembered she even had a son. It was hard to hear. Almost touching. But then the punchline. No inheritance until I go to Mom. Untenable a 1B. And she ends not with an I love you or an I'm proud of you. No. Sic semper tyrannis. Oh my god. Always with that stupid Latin saying. Over and over she'd say that damn thing. Thanks, Mom. Thanks oh so much.
Wait, don't shoot! I am unarmed. Look, we can help each other. I can be useful. Just don't kill me. It's because I'm smart. You've killed so many. I am nothing. No chance. So we can make a deal? This place was full of traps. Traps everywhere. I removed them. But this corridor is just too dangerous. See? Looks normal. One step inside, slam! You are trapped. And nobody's been standing after the doors reopen. No one knew how to get through the corridor. But I figured it out. There are letters on the floor. It is a grid. Those letters must spell something. But there are so many words or small phrases. Why does everyone always say that? See? I've been helpful. You could let me go. Or better, I can help. I know these traps. I know how this mantis thinks. Please, let me help. And just give me a taste of the cachet inside. You can trust me.
You realize that, of course, you cannot actually trust him.
Spoken like a true spacer. You won't regret this. I will hold back here. And, well, good luck.
Someone or something will clean up whatever's left behind.
You're doing well, Leon. Almost there. I know. Things have been difficult. The mantle of the Mantis is a heavy burden. But you can do so much good. The Spacers and pirates need someone to fear. Someone to check them. To make them realize some lines cannot be crossed. You have it in you, Leon. I know you do. Stay sharp. Focused. Just a little further.
Fly away from. Is that how the saying goes? I do not think I could tire of seeing these magnificent structures.
Is that a story? Remember when I said getting the ingredients was the difficult part? Yeah, about that. I may have gotten ahead of myself. I can mix a mean drink, I can run this bar, but this is something totally new. I want to do it right. But you know what that takes? Credits. Lots of them. More than I have. Oh, that's part of the plan for sure. It just can't be the whole plan. And you have now outed yourself as someone who has clearly never attempted to jumpstart an interplanetary business venture. I need more than just a great product, which clearly I have. But I want to go big. Large-scale production, marketing, distribution. Here's the situation. Opportunity is staring me in the face right now, and I don't want to blink. This can be huge, galaxy-wide. I know it. So, I am willing to concede that I need some external help here. Investors. Know anyone who's rich and likes taking chances? I am once again leaning on you, my very, very good friend, and looking for some help. You can't possibly turn me down, right? Well, a person of your obvious charm and grace must have some connections to wealthy individuals in the settled systems. I'm hoping you can convince a few of them to invest in my little business venture here with the knowledge that they will definitely, absolutely get their credits back. And then some. That's the pitch anyway. You really are the best, you know that? So, you know Walter Stroud, yeah? You both are in that Constellation organization? I think you should chat him up, pitch him the idea, see if he'll bite. If he does, we are that much closer. And if he doesn't, then we figure out a plan B. Go team! Stop by anytime.
At this point, hope my employees don't give you too much trouble. Oh no. You have any idea how much of my time gets wasted by people who start conversations with that line? All right, let's get it over with. What amazing situation have you discovered that I can't possibly afford to pass up? And you've tried this drink? You think it'll sell? Spoken like a true connoisseur. If it were anyone else, I might be inclined to nod politely, express some vague enthusiasm, and suggest setting up a meeting that never happens. But I think you and I have been through enough that I'll trust you and take a chance on this. All right, here's what you're going to do. Go pay a visit to my lovely wife in Neon and tell her I said I've been thinking about rereading Jules Verne. You do that, and we'll get the necessary paperwork underway.
I did enjoy watching your escapades. Oh, has he now? My dear young lady, what have you talked him into? Yes, I gathered as much. Well, I hope this one pans out. Back before Walter and I married, he confessed that he had stashed away a credit stick in a copy of Around the World in 80 Days. Somewhere between a rainy day fund and a slush fund, he said he'd always had a bit of extra money set aside in case opportunities arose. I can't really fault him. They're his credits. He can do as he likes. But over the years, it's become something of a joke between us. When he wants to take a chance on something, it's his way of asking without asking if it's all right with me. I suppose it is. Sweeter when it pans out, but he does have a nose for these things. I'll draw up the appropriate paperwork for the funds. Thank you.
If I can get some buy-in on this venture. Whoa. This... Okay, I just lost the ability to think for a moment there. Hang on, give me a second. Whew, all right. But we can't celebrate just yet. We're going to need at least one more solid investor. It should be very clear by this point, I'm not quitting. And I'm not ahead. Not yet. If I put this all in the hands of a single investor, whoever that is suddenly has a lot of influence. If I have at least 2 investors to start, then one person isn't pulling all the strings, if any strings have to get pulled. Have I mentioned I'm not great with metaphors? So, having Walter backing us is fantastic, but I'd feel much better if there was a third party involved. If you know anyone, now's the time to call in a favor. You are kidding. You do? I mean, are you really serious about this? Look, I will gladly take your credits if it means you and I can be partners on this, but I'm not trying to guilt you into it. So before you commit, I'm going to give you one last chance to back out. Wow. Wow! This is so amazing! It's you and me. Well, and Walter. But I'm sure it'll all work out. I'm afraid there's not much in the moment I can do to really thank you for this, but I promise you it will pay off. I've got some people to talk to, and a trip to Galbank in my future. Thank you. You know, I had a guy in here last week ranting that General Shao ought to send the Marines down into the... I'm usually all for letting folks speak their mind. Most times it can't be helped after a few drinks. But that was... Anybody stuck living in the well, it all... Catch you later.
Hello.
Hope life is treating you well. You ever have one of those days where it feels like nothing is going right? I am having one of those lives. And before you say anything, I am fully aware how shockingly overdramatic that actually is. I'm just tired of setbacks. I know. I'm overreacting. It's just I'm so close to seeing this through, and I've wanted it for so long. And why can't I just get what I want without problems? Look what this is doing to me! I'm whining! I have never ever been a whiner! Alright, hyperbole aside, my friend Sasha, who you may or may not have seen hanging around, was working on securing a location for us to set up production on a larger scale. She was looking into a place down in the well, and I haven't seen her. I don't want to say I'm worried, but I'm a little worried. I can't really get away from the bar here. I'm sure everything is fine. Oh, thanks. You might want to look for her at Kay's place. Either she's there or Kay and Teresa will know where to find her. Hope life is treating you well. Let me know if I can get you anything. You're in the right place. See you around.
Do.
Ma'am, just what can I do for you?
I understand that. I'm not blaming you directly. Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here?
About a year now, Doctor.
And in that year, how many times have we had this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies?
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times. I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone else will.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr. Salvato. You may return to your duties.
It's a grav drive. I literally can't...
Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you? I thought perhaps the name gave it away. This is one of the preeminent medical care centers in the Settle systems. We take our work very seriously. Are you? Because I don't have any appointments scheduled. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here. So the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. Whatever business you may be here for, I trust that you will conduct it quickly, and do so without interfering with my staff or our operations. Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. Organic membranes provide excellent data for treating viruses. We could use some additional samples. What we're looking for are basic organic substances. They could come from any number of flora or fauna on countless worlds across the settled systems. Just keep your eyes open as you travel. Or frankly, if you can find them at a reasonable price somewhere, purchase them. I'm less concerned with the source than the materials themselves. If people would stop poking their noses into every... There are hundreds, if not thousands, of new worlds that humanity has set foot on. While many don't host some sort of life, there are more than enough that do. Any one of those worlds could be inhabited by all manner of pathogens, things we've never seen and have no idea how to treat. Someone has to try and stay ahead of what could be a very deadly curve. Here at the clinic, if we do it right, no, not usually. An abundance of safety protocols are in place, and we have decades of experience. Ironically, this may be one of the safest environments in the settled systems. I am, yes. I took over from Dr. Eswaran when he retired 9 years ago. While the clinic does occasionally take on research projects that have their own chain of command, I am ultimately responsible for the entire facility. I'm afraid that information is confidential and restricted to our corporate partners funding the project. The clinic has occasionally been faced with unique situations that might be considered hazardous in other facilities, but no, nothing that could not be contained and dealt with. Certainly. Goodbye.
I hate this delivery run. Can't ever get here fast enough.
Maybe I should have just gone to Aquila City. That's probably nothing. Might instead.
Between you and I'm just here to keep the peace. You need medical help, I'm the last person you want to talk to. Well, you'd be guessing correctly then. Even if there was some kind of trouble, which there almost never is, Freestar Security would handle that. Truth is, this post is what you might call ornamental in nature. Ever since the clinic came under Freestar collective control, there's been a ranger here. I reckon it's to serve as a reminder who's in charge of this place. Not exactly a hot... Well, let's see now. I joined up in 2292, so that'd be... 38 years now? Damn. Hard to believe, now that I think about it. Almost 40 years. There ain't been many Rangers who served that long, I can promise you that. Well, thank you kindly. I've enjoyed the work, and I'm proud to serve. I suppose I don't think much about it, but when I stop to count the years, well, they sure do add up.
Move along, this wing is off limits.
Doctor, we get the cases no one has ever seen before or doesn't know how to treat. Hey, let's keep our voices down. The clinic doesn't exactly know I'm giving its supplies away. That being said, I've been expecting someone soon. I've heard Bayou really has a vice grip on Neon right now. I have some supplies I can give you. Should be more than enough for now, and it shouldn't draw any suspicion from the clinic. I'll have them loaded onto your ship. Sorry, I can't do that. This is the most I can give you without drawing suspicion. What did I do to deserve this? Easy. We're just talking. Oh, I really shouldn't do this. If the clinic finds out... All right, you win. You're very... I can throw in a few extra supplies, but I'm not going to make this a regular thing, okay? They'll be loaded onto your ship. Are you here for a procedure? I guess that depends on what you consider a break. We get some time to ourselves. We're not on call all the time, but we're never that far away from it either. Now that I think about it, I haven't actually left the clinic since I got the job. I actually hadn't really noticed. No, not really. This is my home now. The people here are wonderful, and the work we're doing is incredibly important. That's what really matters. New-ish. I've only been here a year, which, well, when you compare it against Dr. Darvish's career, it's not much, is it? I'm thrilled to have the opportunity, but it's been an adjustment. Very few cases here are simple, and most of them are medical emergencies. Bye.
I'm just a computer guy. You need medical help, you'd better talk to someone else. Oh, you're not familiar? I'll give you the quick version. UC built the station back in 2194. It was outside of their established territory, which caused a bit of a disagreement and a bit of a war. And after what I think most people would agree was much too long a period of time, the war ends. One of the terms was the station was handed over to the Freestar Collective. Not that many really good reasons for war, are there? I think it was more about the UC expanding into systems they didn't own. The principle of the thing, not the station itself. So since then, the clinic's been under Freestar Collective control. Over 100 years now, I think. Over time, it started to focus more on weird things. People picked up on all sorts of planets and space expeditions, became known for it, and now focuses on it almost exclusively. And here we are today, carrying on that work. Actually makes me feel kind of proud when I lay it all out like that. Well, yeah, somebody has to. It's great medical care, but not the latest in support tech. Funding only goes so far, and most of it's prioritized for keeping patients alive. And there's still a lot of outdated UC tech behind the walls that needs interfacing, so I stay plenty busy. Well, then I'd be out of a job, wouldn't I? You're not entirely wrong, though. But someone would have to convince Dr. Darvish it was a priority, and I gave up on that. Get out of here before you catch something.
Every new alien pathogen we discover is just a little more job security. Gotta look on the bright side, right? You had a chance to talk to Dr. Cassidy. Really fun guy. Try humor.
Are you the courier? You're not really supposed to be back here. You can just drop the delivery off by the docking port and someone will take care of it. Well, we're really not that kind of a hospital and don't usually deal with walk-ins. If you really need to speak to someone, Dr. Salvato can probably help. Oh, sometimes, sure. Somebody walks in or is dragged in with something we haven't seen before. You best believe it's all hands on deck. Have to find out if it's lethal or contagious, or both. It can be, yes. But we've all learned to live with it. If we didn't do this, who knows how many lives would be lost. It's harder on the newer folks, that's for sure. You take that Dr. Salvato, nice man, but he's a little on the skittish side. He's a good doctor, but just needs a little more confidence, you know? Don't I know it? I just hope Dr. Salvato knows how much we appreciate his hard work. Actually, now that we're talking about this, I wanted to do something nice for him. Give him a little pick-me-up. I overheard something about a meal he hadn't had in a long time. Thought maybe if I could deliver one to him, it'd be a nice gesture. You think you could help with that? Aren't you just the sweetest? You know that Don's Roost restaurant in New Atlantis? The fancy one? Dr. Salvato was talking about the synth liver pate. Said he'd never forget it. You bring me a plate and I'll make sure we brighten up his day. You catch my bin, nurse supervisor, dear. I'm the one who takes care of all the doctors. The more I can look after, the more the doctors can focus on patient diagnosis and treatment. Every role here is important. Well, I wouldn't really say we work together. It just happens to be in the same place. He has his job keeping the peace. I have mine keeping this place running. Truth be told, I think it might drive one or both of us a little crazy if we actually work together. But I do appreciate being able to see him every day, even if it's just to pop over to his office and say hello or share a meal. Bye for now.
Evening, ma'am.
Perhaps we should consider not staying long. Or breathing deeply.
I'd like to recover in peace. I'd rather not have you in here.
We appreciate. Howdy. Good to see you. Well, I think it's all right. Seeing as how my brother and I would be dead if we never came here. Doctors are nice enough. Treatments aren't too bad, and food's all right. That doesn't mean I'm not counting down the days until we can leave. I'm itching to go back home. That I am. Lucky to be alive, apparently. Me and my brother here have been patients for going on, 4 or 5 months now? Good Lord. I, being the stronger and smarter one, am recovering quickly. Still sick as a dog, but the doctors let me roam around to visit my infirm brother here. He was in a coma for months. He's only now making... This genius brother of mine was begging me to go on a hike with him on Aquila. He's a real outdoorsy type, you know. Now, being a man of letters, I didn't want to go, but he just kept yapping. So, we go on this hike, right? We don't know where the hell we're going. Well, we got lost. Stranded with no food or water. I told him to pack food and water, but the fool forgot. Well, we start scavenging for some food to sustain us and come across this thing, like a plant, but I don't know what the hell the damn thing was. Looked tasty enough, so we ate it. Well, the damn thing nearly killed us both. Turns out we weren't even that far from the city, so we were found by some passerby, and here we are. Yeah, well, not out of the woods just yet. Things have been pretty hairy for John here. But I think you're right. It'll take more than that to kill the Joseph brothers. Take care now.
Well, at least it can't get any worse. Well, no, it definitely can. Trying to stay positive.
The treatments were fine, but the food? Oh, heavens. Can't wait to get back to my farm.
It's good to see someone other than Nurse.
Keep your nose clean. The last thing I want is to charge you for a PPE and A&E.
You know, just by breathing the air in here, you are being exposed to a thousand different viruses. I'm kidding.
Need to make sure those samples get disposed of.
Dr. Darvish, whatever you do, don't let any. Just need a moment to. How are you even on your feet? Okay, I can have it. All right. Right is rain. We tend to reserve. Oh, well, that's appreciated. There really isn't anything you're qualified to do in here. No offense, of course. But, I do have some data requests from other facilities in the settled systems. Everyone always wants to know what we're up to. Usual courier has been less than reliable lately, so if you could get this slate where it needs to go, that would help us, and put a few credits in your pocket. Tending physician. I'm new here, so really what I do is watch Dr. Darvish's every move and try to imitate it. Sounds a lot less impressive when I say it out loud. It's really a matter of safety, believe it or not. The types of things we work with here, let's just say you wouldn't want them spreading on a populated planet. In here, we're all nice and isolated, just in case. Not the most comforting thought, but it's the truth. Thanks for stopping by.
Another day, another shift.
Unless this is about the clinical trials I scheduled for later in the year, you may wish to speak to someone else. There's simply too much to do to allow me to just stand about conversing with you. I apologize. I'm afraid I lack the time for purely social interactions.
I'm just a nurse. If you need to talk to someone in charge, wrong guy. Oh, we're not really supposed to talk about that kind of thing. Doctor-patient confidentiality and all that. Dr. Darvish is pretty strict about that. Well, about everything, but definitely that. Oh, sure. Everyone is really great. Top of their game, medically speaking. I've learned so much these last few years. I try not to take any of it for granted. This career, helping people, it really means something. Bye.
If you're thinking about going into medicine, just be really sure.
Here to the Helios Retreat. Supposed to be some new age healing center for reforming criminals or whatever.
Running this
Up in
facility.
Ixil, too.
So you do. Thank you. This will directly aid our research.
Don't let anyone know you got this.
Please state the nature of your medical emergency. You aren't looking well at all. Additional data is always welcome. Fantastic. That'll really help out around here. Thanks for everything. These supplies will be put to good use. Here, take this. I threw in a bit extra for you. You and Abby really pulled through for me. All right. Listen, honestly, I'm surprised you... Straightforward zipper job. There. Try not to get hurt out there.
Welcome to Deimos.
Deimos and the UC are inexorably tied together. If one fails, the other does. I might not mind seeing that.
Deimos ships are responsible for countless victories.
Ah, it's nice to see someone not in uniform. They can be so touchy, you know. Always eager to point out the slightest problem. Oh, please tell me you aren't secretly some high-ranking general, are you? Should I bow or curtsy then? I assume you're here for a ship. Either that or you are really, really lost. Mr. Henderson handles sales, but if you want to know anything about our ships, I'm your gal. Oh yeah? Well, I take that as a compliment. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It can be pretty hard working with these no-nonsense military types. Oops. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say things like that, at least not so loudly. I've already been written up twice this week. I can only take so many lectures. Man, I could really use a drink. Yeah, but who thinks to themselves, man, I could really use a nice glass of water after a hard day. What I could really use is Jake's Stout, from Jake's Bar in New Atlantis, of course. Or the Well, to be more specific. I used to love that place when I lived there. I mean, Jake isn't friendly, but he could make a pretty good drink. Say, you're the traveling type, right? Would you mind grabbing me one of Jake's Stouts? Awesome! Thank you so... If you have your own ship, we're always The Star Yards have negotiated a set price with the Trade Authority. Twice the market rate. As a first-time contractor, I am required by law to let you know that every Star Yard offers the same terms. But obviously, you should deal with us. Depending on your cargo hold size, you may need to make several trips to fulfill the order. So what we need is lead. The request is for a large quantity, 5,000 units of it. Excellent. I mean, they're very good, obviously. But these days, everyone's using the same core tech, right? Oh, shit. Do you know you can be lectured on being too honest? Right. What makes Deimos special, though, is the package. We've been building ships forever, and the way we put it all together, well, it's really good. In a I'm gonna murder my enemies sort of way. Let me see your man. It doesn't appear you have anything. Deimos has the UC Navy. I repaired just about every class of vessel there is. I even repaired Henderson's longsword once or twice. I swear that man has a guardian angel with him full time. Or 3. Deimos hired me because I know every rivet and microchip on these ships. So if Henderson gets stumped on something, it's showtime. Oh, yeah. Bye.
No other ship can hold a gap.
You should be honored.
What do we have here? Deimos prides itself on being the UC's first and last line of defense in space. But we're more than happy to protect and arm bold entrepreneurs that do their business among the stars. Deimos is the pride of the UC, and it is my privilege to welcome you. So, let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you. Yes, they are. I flew my longsword in 43 combat missions. It never once failed me. That's what you get with Deimos. Our ships have been battle-tested for decades longer than anyone else. I've had a long and successful military career. Deimos starships have played a major part in it. In fact, I'm sure that if I flew any lesser starship, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now talking to you. That's what Deimos affords you. The confidence to go soaring into the fire, the death, and know that you will make it out alive. Suppose I do in a way. The excitement of barreling towards the enemy in a Deimos is a feeling that can't be replicated. Music too.
Trust me, this is the best. Okay, now we need to ensure you get hired. Basically, we'll need to make sure you're the only choice. To do that, you'll need to get access to the HR terminal in the corporate office upstairs on... If you delete the other applications from the system, you'll be a shoo-in. That's the spirit. Believe me, this is gonna help everyone. By the way, the HR password is password spelled backwards, which Tia thinks is pretty clever. She gets talkative during it. Surprised everyone doesn't know her password, honestly. Anyway, should be...
One of the earliest shipbuilders, and desperate to remain relevant.
It's amazing how smoothly our mining operations run with me in charge. I can't recall the last time we've had any major issues. Sometimes. Do you work for me? It's...
Don't worry, we're gonna make... And I can say that I've got some good news for you. I just saw the company message go out that you've been hired as Peter's assistant. Next step should be easy. Just go to work for Peter, and when you get access to his terminal messages, you'll see my request. All you've got to do is approve that request, and we'll be right on. Then, we can get that new equipment and show corporate how it's done.
You're finally back. I feel like you've been gone for ages. Do you know how tough this job is without an assistant? Good. Now, let's make... You look a bit different than I remembered. Did you go to Enhance? No. Now I remember. They told me they sent me someone new. Anyway, they wouldn't say how you did on your application, but they did say no one else was available. Let's hope for the best, shall we? Well, enough chit-chat. Let's get to work. Not quite. I need you to do something much more important before you get to that. I'm expecting a personal shipment. I'm not sure why, but the last time this happened, my assistant ended up speaking to Governor Hurst about it. Now, run off and get it. I don't know. At first I thought I had multiple assistants that rotated in and out, but it seems I've only ever had one at a time and they all just stopped showing up. I believe my last assistant was supposed to get me some coffee, but never came back. I honestly wasn't listening to whatever they were crying about. Oh, do they cover nothing in orientation anymore? No, strike that. We got rid of orientation, didn't we? Anyway, it's not important. Your job is easy. You do what I ask, and that's pretty much it. I'm surprised you've forgotten that's the... All right, new assistant. I could, but we'd be wasting valuable time, so no. What's in the shipment? A good assistant knows it's not their place to ask. Bad assistants get fired. Mediocre assistants get... You know what? I forgot where I was going with this, but it doesn't matter. Just get it for me. Also, I don't quite remember. But it is important, that I know. Yeah.
No ex-condos aren't anything special, but plenty of people...
I'd love to chat more, but I'm expecting a message any minute from the Trade Authority. You know how it is with these big businesses, am I right? That's cute, but not enough. If you're not sure how much, you probably can't afford it. And at this point, I'm not sure I'd accept it from you. Well then, you've been quite busy making a name for yourself, haven't you? Heard of you. Of course, how could I not?
It sounds as though you have been spying on us, Governor.
Not exactly spying. Word gets around and I'm one to listen when it does. I like to know what goes on in my city. So look, I admire a go-getter like yourself. I know you're not really Mr. Brennan's assistant. I don't know exactly what you're up to, but I have little reason to suspect you're up to no good. So let's cut to brass tacks. What can I do for you? Why, sure. Anything for someone with your, distinction. Look, Mr. Brennan owes an absurd amount in unpaid taxes, so we've held up his shipment at port. No doubt you'd agree this is fair. However, I also suspect you're someone who'd be willing to do a little quid pro quo on the quiet and help me with my own problem. See, my personal spacecraft was stolen, likely by Crimson Fleet pirates. I need someone to find it. Then I need that someone to destroy it. Discreetly. I need tight lips on this. Well, this is a tricky situation indeed. Not to get bogged down in details, but assuming this is the work of pirates, it's best to destroy the ship and everybody on board. Makes it cleaner for insurance Then we have an agreement. I'll send you to the ship's last known location. Remember, not a word of this leaves this room.
Hey, friend. Don't mean to bother you, but I could really use some help here. It's good to see someone out here. I've been drifting alone here for 2 days without help. Wait, you on the account? Alright, come on board. I hope you've got some extra ship parts for repairs, because we're going to need it to get this thing back to base.
We have a clean dock, right on the money.
So, you're a pirate? Please. We know you're not really with the fleet. Word of advice? Learn the lingo before you attempt anything so stupid again. You've got two choices. We need ship parts to repair our busted craft drive. Hand them over along with your ship, and maybe we'll let you leave. Or you've got to the count of 20 before I make that. You mean to parlay? Countdown's over. Consider my curiosity piqued. You could be bluffing. But given that you came over willingly, maybe you do have tricks up your sleeve. Okay. Enough talk. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'll even help you on your way. I have an incriminating letter from Hearst himself. I'm sure it's valuable to an enterprising individual such as yourself. I don't care what you do with it. Rip it up, use it for blackmail, whatever. I'll give it to you. So long as we get to keep this ship. Deal? Smart choice. Now, I suggest leaving before our reinforcements show up. I can't guarantee they'll be as accommodating as we are.
got paid by that sucker Hearst. And got to keep his ship.
We should move on, if there's nothing worth taking.
Well, lucky you're one of them. Us, and not some shark. Well, lucky you're one of us, and not some shark. All that time in space making me jumpy.
Can't believe we got paid by that sucker Hearst. And got to keep his ship.
I sure hope you've taken care of our little, problem. Did you, take care of my little problem?
Really? Your move here is blackmail?
I see how it is. Tell you what, say you really do have this alleged note, and we're thinking of using it against me. If you're so inclined, I'll take it off your hands instead, and compensate you far more than releasing Mr. Brennan's shipment of goods. Then you and I part ways and never speak of this again. Do we have an understanding? Come on, don't make me have to explain it to you. Private security leaves a paper trail. Obviously, that's not a good look, so I had to go where that's not a concern. Hence the pirates, hence... No, about... You know, you're supposed to destroy the ship, not board it. And even though I don't take kindly to blackmail, you're making the right move by agreeing to keep this matter under wraps. The way I figure, no one will believe you without proof anyway now. So this exchange, we'll see to it the real story stays between us. Now take Brennan's package and your compensation and get out of my damn sight. Sorry, we have to cut this conversation short.
Right then, assistant. Let's see. I know there's something I need you to do for me. My shipment. Do you... Oh, that's nice. Thanks for getting this for me. Now, could you be a pal and get to my computer messages? Oh, they've been piling up while you were gone, and I need you to respond to them for me. Here's my password. Just make sure your replies sound like they're coming from me. I have a reputation to maintain. Yeah.
what's taking Hank so long? I saw. Good work. See? I knew having someone on the inside like that would work out. I've already put it in order for the equipment. I was going to ask you to pick it up for me, but there's a problem. One of my guys, Hank Ferraro, offered to go. I tried to tell him he'd be more useful sticking to his job here, but he insisted, and he was already on his way out before I could stop him. But it shouldn't be taking this long. Just a quick trip to Gagarin and back. I'm concerned. I could use some help with this. I don't know. Maybe he got hit by pirates. Maybe he's out of fuel, drifting. Maybe he just stopped for chunks. Anyway, something's up, and it doesn't seem good. Since you've proven yourself so skilled in so many ways, I was hoping to call on you for it. So, you in? Hank's been a difficult employee, to be honest. More interested in showing off than doing good work. He's aggressive. He starts shit with the other employees. He's often late for work and so on. So this came up and I figured maybe he's trying to turn things around. Even though I was reluctant, I wanted to give him a chance. Now I'm questioning. Oh, thanks. This is a huge help. You'll be happy to know I actually carved out some of the budget so I can pay you for all of your assistance. We don't currently have much information to go on. I'd suggest checking with Sidonia's ship services over at the starport first. They'd be the last person I know that's seen Hank. It's all I've got without sending you all the way to Gagarin to retrace his steps.
Anything I can... You should inspect your ship for heat leeches every couple landings. Let's see here. Hank... Known by that name. Oh, wait. Here we go. Henry Ferraro. Hank's gotta be his nickname. Yeah, he's been through here. Took his ship and departed. Actually, it looks like he came back into Mars space recently. But he didn't land here at the spaceport. The ship diverted and landed outside the city a ways. Nothing out of the ordinary. Got a ship and left. Tried and failed to get a discount on fueling up. Yeah, something seems off about this. You're probably right that you need to work this out with your boss. Maybe some... Anyway, good luck and good day to you.
Found a clutch of heat leeches.
I wonder what's taking Hank so long. I hope I didn't make a mistake by letting... That's a little suspicious. Why would he do that? Moreover, why wouldn't he return with the goods? Something's definitely up. I asked around while you were gone. Some of his co-workers mentioned there's been a little extra, well, Hank lately. In particular, he was cursing up a storm about work and about his co-workers. Said some things that make me think his intentions here. Anyway, he's not too bright. Maybe he's still here in Sidonia. Check the Broken Spear. He frequently goes there to drink. Dunno. Hank's kind of a weird guy. He never fit in with the team. Tended to act a little sketchy. Always figured he'd be done after one contract. Guy like Hank, maybe he's just looking to sell it on the black market and earn an extra paycheck. Remember, it's most important that we find out where the equipment is. We've got to do it before we lose track of it, before it gets sold, moved, and we've got to hope to whatever higher power you believe in that it wasn't jettisoned into space. We've got our work cut out for us.
but I've already hauled more ore than any of the old-timers could ever produce. My story? My story is that I don't like people asking what my story is. I'm just messing! But really, I don't want to talk about myself. Questions, huh? Let me buy you a beer first. Here you go. Anyway, I seen you talking to Trevor. What's someone like you doing sticking your nose where it doesn't belong? You're right. I didn't want to bring it back, so I took it. I had to. Those guys all think I'm some kind of joke. And I'm stuck with this stupid 3-year contract. I can't afford to break it. So, screw Deimos, screw Trevor and all the other miners. Losing that equipment's the last straw for them. Did he tell you that? One last failure in a string of failures to meet quotas. It'll be layoffs for everyone, and I won't owe Deimos a damn credit. How could I? You'd do it too if your coworkers never took you seriously. I'm always showing them how much better I am than them, and all they do is laugh and talk behind my back. They think I don't hear them, but I do. They say I'm a show-off, that I'm not good at what I do. So screw them. This whole planet sucks. Everyone... Shit. You could turn me in. I'd be in jail, and then this would be all for nothing. Damn it. Fine. You got me. I'll take you to where I stashed it, and then we can haul it back. But you better not be lying to me about not telling anyone. Sure, fine. Just,
Your instincts are correct here, I think. Hank is not to be trusted.
Can you believe people used to think the nearby mountain was a face on the surface of Mars? Ridiculous, huh? Doesn't look anything like one. Yes?
Let me know if you need something.
How goes?
Almost there, all right? I had to park my ship off a ways so they wouldn't find it right away. I'm sure you get it. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I think I'd be going all the way back so soon. At least you won't have to walk all the way back. I mean, you know, maybe we'll take the ship back to port and let someone else unload it, save ourselves the hassle of hauling it all back ourselves. Anyway, just up ahead. That's enough. Now face me, so I don't have to shoot you in the back. No, we got a problem we can't resolve. Namely, you know too much. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be this way. I felt like I got no other choice. The only one gonna get hurt here is you. Not if I convince them you were behind it the whole time, newcomer. And after I kill you? Sorry. And that means...
No other option. You did what you had to do.
I'm looking forward. Any luck? Do tell. Well, I can assume how that went from the fact that you're here and he's not. He worked hard, but he was a dumb kid. I just never thought he'd be that stupid. It's a real shame. But I'm glad you managed to resolve it and get back our equipment. I'll take it from here. You really saved our asses. I'm not sure how I would have explained to the suits that we lost all that new stuff.
Still looking to help us out, maybe check with Rivka.
She seems to be having a rough go. I should have known Hank was going to be trouble. I hope...
Well, that's the idea, anyway. Now, if we fail to meet our quotas, it'll be our own fault, not the bloody machines failing to do their job. Shame we didn't have enough left over to fix old Gnome over there. Would have been nice to have another functional robot around. It's fine anyway. I think we've gotten used to that old broken down talking computer just the way he is.
Great, now that you helped us get that new equipment, what a difference it makes. We're pumping out yields that would have taken twice the crew before. As I'm sure you know, we're responsible for supplying resources to Deimos Star Yards, which in turn is responsible for supplying UC naval vessels. That, among other major projects, makes us one of the United Colony's most important mining operators. The prestige and pay that comes with it almost makes up for being stationed at the arse end of the settled systems in the middle of nowhere. You have a good one, all right?
I'm learning so much here. Everyone should visit at least once in their life.
It's so cold here.
That very informative. I didn't know about the methane harvesters before coming here.
Lots of
history here. It was better than I expected from a backwoods planet like this.
It has a quaint charm, doesn't it?
Just like the rest of New Homestead.
Well, I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime. And I hope you'll consider another Star Sap tour. Tell your friends.
We will. Thanks again.
Hello there.
Excuse
The
me,
museum
Bill.
here is
You've
free
gotta
to
do a better job of
everyone.
keeping your tour groups out.
Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit?
Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arms.
Wonderful.
Could have been ripped off.
These are all rare artifacts from before the collapse of Earth. There isn't much of this stuff left outside of private collections, but here we're happy to share a glimpse of them with the public. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can. Of course, certainly. We have several items in our collection that we rotate in and out over time, but they all originate from the same place, Earth. We have everything from toys to antique technology to sports memorabilia. We even used to have an old Earth vehicle, but we had to sell it when we ran out of space for it. Most of our collection was donated by fellow Earth enthusiasts and historians who felt it belonged close to the homeland here in the Sol system. I am Maurice Leon, and I am the community elder. As the oldest living citizen at 96, my only job is to keep Earth history alive. I tell stories to the young people and the visitors from other worlds. Although my memory isn't what it used to be, I try my best to get the stories right. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. Sure, I'd love to. There was once a war, so big that they say all of the world was involved. This was actually the second time it happened. They fought because a terrible man named Hitler rose to power and slaughtered many innocents. Millions were lost. Even the colony war pales in comparison. Why, certainly. It's what I do. There was a time when huge monstrosities called dinosaurs ruled over Earth, long before humans existed. They were similar to some of the larger life forms you might see elsewhere in the settled systems. Their reign ended when I can never remember if it was a comet, an asteroid, or a meteor that hit the Earth. Whatever it was, it nearly wiped out most of the life at that time. Let me think of a good one. A long time ago, thousands of years, humans built a wall so large it spanned the northern length of one of Earth's largest empires, China. They called it the Great Wall of China, and it was meant to keep out invading hordes. If I recall correctly, it didn't always work as well as they had hoped. I'll have to look it up again. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. Take care.
Word of advice? Steer clear of the doctor here.
I thought she really seems to have a problem with tourist
What's the big deal?
Damn powers on the
It's just
freezing
another
end.
dead world.
Joyce always seems to need help.
Well, hello there, and welcome to my little shop. Are you visiting New Homestead for the first time? Oh, nice. You know, it's always such a pleasure to meet people from other worlds. Or just space. I don't judge. I'm Jay. I'm happy to help you find what you're looking to buy or take a look at whatever you want to sell. Trades of all kinds are welcome here. Or if you have any questions for me about the shop, the merchandise, or even just New Homestead in general, I'm happy. Glad you asked. I'm looking for all sorts of things. Anything, really. Clothing, weapons, jewelry, even stuff they consider junk. You name it. We don't get a lot of off-world stock, so I offer to buy things from travelers. Anything they're willing to part with. Between you and me, people around here talk a lot about tradition and whatnot, but even they get curious about what other worlds have to offer. I love them. Most of us in New Homestead appreciate what tourism does for our economic livelihood, so we go out of our way to make guests feel welcome. Some are indifferent about it, while a few others, I won't name names, are downright resentful of all the tourists and would prefer to be left alone. But that being said, I believe our generally friendly demeanor is a large part of what drives people to keep coming back. We used to, but not anymore. Believe it or not, the New Homestead Tourism Board decided a while back to do away with souvenirs. We don't really have the resources or facilities to make them here ourselves, and it was decided that anything less than that would seem exploitive of our people and inauthentic. Only thing we have are these souvenir slates about the history of New Homestead. Tell you what, I've got an extra one here that another guest left behind a while back. You can have. Sure thing.
It's been a while since I last visited. Nice to see the place still has the same
New Homestead's quite the learning experience. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years. Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits. Well. That's okay. This tour isn't for everyone, I know that, but my price is fair, and I think it's well worth the money. No one's forcing you to go on it. Did I? Sorry, but that's... Great! Let's get this show on the road, eh? Alright, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, titled Astro Base, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour if you want to know more. Well, that's that. I hope you enjoyed Starsap Tours as much as I enjoy giving them. Sorry to hear. I tried to make it educational at least. Can't please everyone, I guess. Thanks anyway, and see you around. Take care!
I'm not afraid to use this to defend my home and my family. But you sure as hell don't look like any spacer I've seen before. So let me get this straight. You heard a distress call and you flew all the way down here. What are you, some sort of priest or good Samaritan? I didn't know people like you were real, but I got a heap load of problems. And I'm willing to pay my share for the help. I don't know what game you're playing, but I guess I'm in. Used to be 4 families that list help set up stakes in this system. We rarely saw eye to eye in the best of times, and believe me, True, these ain't the best of times. Spacers started raiding, and it's been getting worse. Only a matter of time before they end us all. Unless you're willing to help some hard-working, pig-headed settlers out. No arguments here. The Spacers have taken out the family's list satellites, so we can't even talk to each other. Isolate and eliminate, a classic tale. You fix the Lopez satellite, and I'll open a secure channel, and we can sync up and get the lay of the land. And then get all of our satellites operational. I have. Twice. I took out the old pickup. Last time I tried, I barely made it out alive. They're using the damn satellites as bait. My ship just isn't up for facing spacers. But yours, a whole different animal. It might be I'm getting caught up in the moment, but I actually feel Optimistic for once. Thanks.
So, what have we got? Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Green light is on, which means communications is up. Sending the data on the other satellites. You do hear me, right? Hello? Now that's a weight off my shoulders. It's gonna take some time dealing with someone. I don't suppose you want a job working hydroponics. No one ever says yes to that. Once you repair the other satellites, I'll open a channel to the other families.
Shield up and fire!
Another satellite up. And broadcasting. Lopez to Lumiere. Jacqueline, are you there?
Albin? How the hell? I'm almost glad to hear your voice.
Listen, we need to meet. All of us. These spacers have got us on the ropes.
What sort of game are you playing? We're not going to fall for another of your cons.
No game. No ruse. Times have changed. We need to move on or we'll all be the saddest little footnote in history.
We can meet, but it'll be on my ship.
Fine.
Huh.
I closed the call. So that's good old Jackie. Get to the other families. Hopefully they'll give us a better reception. Signal. Lopez to Banda? Banda, you there? You got the satellites back up? And help. Big help from a friend. I didn't know you had friends. I'm turning over a new leaf. And that thing, we have to meet all the families. Oh, I bet Jackie's gonna love that. Oh, she was a real peach about it. So she's in? Has to be her ship, but she's in. I'll come over. And Alvin, it's good to hear you. Oh, you're choking me up here. And that's Chanda. Good people. Maybe too good. More satellites to fix. Excellent. No bad yet. Lopez to win? Lopez to win. When? When? This does not sound good. When? Please. We may be the three families now. And that's the last of them. Stranger, let's meet up on Lumiere's ship. I'll square away payment, but I have a feeling this ain't over and there may be further paying work ahead.
When you have the time, of course. Figured you'd need someone else to do something useful.
Charming as ever. First things first, I'm pretty sure the Spacers got the weapons. No contact with them.
All of them? My God.
Shit.
They were good people. They died. Needlessly. Because we couldn't get our act together.
That's rich coming from you. You scammed me time and time again, Albin.
The spacers are a threat to us all, Jackie.
And that is the salient point. Mistakes were made, we need to get past that. What I'm proposing is a mutual defense pact, nothing else. Each of us throws in our ships, men, materials, and whatnot, enough to protect all of our asses.
I wouldn't give you one solitary ounce of helium-3 if my life depended on it.
The problem is, it does. I think we all need to cool off. Stranger, a word? First things first. You did an honest day's work, you deserve an honest day's pay. Here, with heartfelt compliments. But I expect you know what's coming next. We're not military folk, and I'm not ashamed to say we are out of our depth. I'll pay you more, much more. If you can help kick the spacers out of our system for good, and coordinate our efforts to do so. Right you are. So we're not babes in the woods. Each family has a ship or two and hard men and women that can handle themselves in a firefight. But the root of the problem is, admittedly, a self-inflicted injury. My family was here first, and when Liz sent other families here, perhaps I didn't take to it kindly. Might be I made an odd credit here or there at their expense. Something Lemaire especially has never let me live down. But now we need the Lemaires and the Bandits both, I reckon. I wouldn't hold my breath with Jackie. But Band is good folk. Well, hopefully. We need to cooperate now, but also in the future. We need a mutual defense pact. As our new mercenary commander, please talk with Band and Lemaire. Lemaire, God help us, especially we could use. Her family's got the most ships and crew by far. But if she's a lost cause, Ben and I can muddle through.
Hello, stranger. Your work in getting the satellites up? You've done us a good turn. I know it was paying work, but a lot of mercs wouldn't even take a list contract. You here to talk about the defense pact? I figured he might. I mean, I agree that right now coming together makes sense, but going forward, it's hard to imagine Jackie and Albin working together for the long haul without one winding up with a knife in the back. Not much of a choice, really. Well, the Bandits will join the defense pact. We got one ship operational, another we can patch up. It's not much, but you'll have us when you need us. A defense pact? Might just work.
Just so you know, Albin is a con man and a thief. Associating with the likes of him reflects poorly on your character. Don't be so certain. So here's the deal. Odds are good my crew can hold out against the Spacers all by ourselves. If we're gonna band together, I have the most to contribute and the most to lose. The smart play for my interests is the Lemaire's hunker down and outlast the storm. I may not be some sort of military expert, but you can't know that for certain. Well, if you're offering. I hadn't considered the financial upside of it. I've been dealing with this for years. I trust my judgment on this more than yours. Maybe you're on the level, but I know for damn. Just the latest of Albin's harebrained schemes.
A defense pact? Right. It's just another one of Lopez's cons.
So is a defense pact. Come on, don't keep... I can't say I'm surprised. Well, two families will have to do. So, the sensors have picked up two contact groups. undoubtedly our spacer friends. We don't have many ships, but we can send them with you. Or hold them in reserve. You got it. I'll send along word. After you deal with the spacers, meet back on my farm. I've got an idea how to find where the spacers are based.
Remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you were being pulled across the entire galaxy? Well, it got me thinking, so I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Oh yes, absolutely. I didn't mean to compare. Those were just... oh, I don't know. Different times. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege. Now that you mention it, you're probably right. Either way, we logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. Honestly, it wasn't so much what Aja and I discovered in our travels. It was the journey that was memorable. Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone. I'll take that as a compliment. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly. No, she retired. Living on Porrima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions. Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be yourself. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well... that's what intrigues. Good. Then we're both on the same. Anyway, that's all I had to discuss for now, so if you'd point the way, we can... Pressure normalizing. Undocking complete.
Spacer contacts eliminated. That was... wow. Some good flying there. Lopez is ready for you at the farm. Thanks.
Been a while since we had guests. Talk to Alvin.
That was incredible. Glad to hear you're back, safe and sound. Banda, you owe me 30 credits.
You're tougher than I thought.
Easy money. So while you were doing that, I used the communication satellites to triangulate some spacers' chatter. There's an old derelict star station the spacers are using as a base. Couldn't say it better myself. There are undoubtedly a lot of spacers there, both ships and men on the station itself.
We could really use Lemaire's ships for this. But we're never gonna get a better chance to clean this system for good.
100% agree. So, oh glorious leader, Any words of wisdom or inspiration before we embark? This is it. We need to bring everything we got to bear. There won't be any do-overs on this one. We'll all be waiting for you to jump in.
Skies clear. Everyone, start boarding the SAR station. It's time to reclaim this system for good.
This is the first deep breath I've taken in months. I make no illusions. You did this. And now it's up to us to keep... Very diplomatic. It's horseshit, of course. But it sounded nice. The rest of the families and I, well, we chipped in for a reward. I know it's probably a pittance compared to what someone like you makes. But, we're just dirt poor farmers and miners just trying to get by. I think I need to shut up now. Don't want to get... Don't you dare! I have my precious reputation to maintain. If you ever are in this system, you come back and visit. We'll give you a warm welcome for the ages. Told me I was crazy.
The others may not see it this way,
little faith.
but you saved us all.
Paradiso security is only here for your safety. Pretend we're not even here.
Welcome to Paradiso. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else? Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? Great, I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien, like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but so far no one's disembarked from the ship. No landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board. It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have you. I'm sure whatever you work out with Oliver will be... Neither. We're our own private force. The Paradiso group pays top dollar for top-notch security. And I dare say we're some of the best in the business. We have to be out here on the fringes of the settled systems. Honestly, it's not as exciting as you might think most of the time. More often than not, we're just handling drunk and disorderly conduct. Heck, even pirates leave us alone for the most part. I think it's because some of them actually vacation here. As long as they're not bothering anyone, we've been told not to worry about them. See you around.
It's just that we weren't expecting to find life, let alone human life out here. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
Imagine being cut off from humankind for that long. How terribly frightening that would be.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by, well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and the other. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am, for security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth Colony.
The Constant is a piece of
In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
We were never trained to address things inside our ship. Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
So, here we are. Let's talk.
Our people never expected to meet with us.
We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it.
I know Captain Brackenridge has essentially given you free rein to wander the ship, but security will still be watching you closely. I hope you understand, given we have so little experience with people from the outside. It pays to take security seriously, something I understand much better now than in my youth.
Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet. Excellent. Make no mistake, this is our planet, and we intend for them to see this our way. So, speak with their leadership and see if you can negotiate a solution on our behalf. Preferably, get them to see things our way. Report back to me and let me know what they say, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. Thank you, and Godspeed.
I maintain order around here, and I aim to continue that, even in these strange new times. We had time to prepare ourselves since we arrived in orbit around this planet. We knew there was life, and the predominant theory was that it was human life. When you approached, we needed to be careful. Both because you presented a potential threat, but also potential salvation. Plans were in place to deal with both scenarios, and luckily, cooler heads prevailed. I don't have much basis for comparison. People tend to stay in line, but when they don't, I imagine it can be more challenging than out there. We only have a small break. So in the few cases where there was widespread disorder, we needed to improvise. I'm told that has only happened once in our entire history. There was a brief revolt under Captain Breckenridge II when he amended the rationing laws. Prisoners were confined to their quarters. After the trial, the leader of the mutiny was exiled to space. We take security threats very seriously, for obvious reasons. It may surprise you to learn that I didn't. See, in my teenage years, I was quite rebellious. I stole a keycard and used it to get into the reactor. My shenanigans almost led to a total reactor meltdown. Normally, the punishment for such an act would be ejection from the ship. But my parents pleaded with Diana's father, the captain at the time, for leniency. He agreed. After I served time in the brig, he assigned me a job with the security team. I took the lesson to heart and have been taking my job seriously ever since. Indeed, I tell it because it is important to remember why we have rules that must be followed. And yet, it is good to be reminded that sometimes leniency does have its benefits. Be safe.
And to think, all this time we thought we were alone.
I have to say, with technology this outdated, I'm amazed this vessel
So
is
it
able
is
to
true.
navigate at all.
An actual stranger
It's
aboard
almost
our
like
ship?
walking through a
Wow.
museum.
Oh, geez. Sorry, of course you don't know my name. We never met. I'm Yue. Wow, I never thought this would happen. Sure. Well, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Oh, I'm the navigation officer, though I switch between nav and piloting. I'll be honest, the ship pretty much flies itself. Its destination hasn't changed since it launched, and we're here now, so I'm not sure what's next. See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff. It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us. Get you around.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Now that we know what's out there,
We were never trained to address threats.
just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Breckenridge. That sounds so familiar. Something from history slates that I've read.
Oh, I feel I should know who this person is, but somehow it's escaped my memory.
Careful waving that fancy gun around.
I heard you came from outside the ship.
I bet it was pretty cold out there.
Hello there. Given that I don't know you, you must be this visitor I've been hearing so much about. I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. It's nice to meet you on this momentous occasion. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Breckenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appeared to be wrong. Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers. ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure, so ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land, and found it populated when they arrived. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? Another time, that teaching will always be. If you ask around, people will either tell you my job is absolutely critical to the mission, or I just hang out, read, and watch movies. There's more to it than that. Officially, I'm assigned to the role of chief historian. Generations ago, it used to be lawkeeper of humanity, but that seemed a bit too lofty. While I don't think my job is as important as captain, engineering officer, or cultivation manager, it's still vital to our mission. Thanks for saying so. If you ask around, generations ago, while I don't think my job is... Of course. Everyone was assigned their roles here. We don't choose our roles, since there are only so many of us, and every job is critical. Someone has to prove themselves either exceptionally bad at their job, or exceptionally good at another, in order to be moved. But that rarely happens. I do. But sometimes it's frustrating to convince some people that my job is important, since it's not directly related to our continued survival. There was a time where I thought my sister was the lucky one, running the hydroponics farm and being responsible for feeding everyone. But I grew to like my work, and working with children is nice, especially since I'll never have any of my own. It's okay. I don't mind you asking. I'm actually proud of my choice. It's a great honor to give up one's ability to have a family so that others may. As you can imagine, a population limit is a necessity on board a colony ship. I made my choice long ago to give others the chance to have a larger family should they wish. Though, I suppose I don't need to worry about that now. Maybe it's time to consider it. I run the educational programs aboard the ship for all the children and any adults who are looking to learn about Earth history. We try to have group sessions some evenings where we read old Earth literature, watch old films, listen to music, and the like. So yes, I hang out with children and watch movies, but it's more involved than that. We historians are charged with keeping Earth culture alive so that we never forget where we came from. Goodbye.
Captain Breckenridge says the future is bright now, but I think the constant will be books written about this, so I don't really know. I'm gonna be in a book.
Miss Julia, I have a question.
What is it?
If there were animals on Earth, why aren't there any animals here?
Oh, well, there wasn't enough room on board when our ancestors left.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before.
It's almost time to take inventory of our stock again. Hi there. Oh! Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Right? We've been cooped up together in this ship all our lives, so outside of births, there's literally no way for new people to arrive, you know? Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Dice K, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled, even the food, in a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. See you around.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Wow. Hi.
Can't tell you how many times I've had to make do with inelegance. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster than light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? I knew it. It's incredible! I read about this technology in our archives from Earth, but it was only theoretical back then. Amazing! I'll have to learn more. Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend. Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here. Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on, and the ship flying. Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way. Yes! So many! Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time. Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources. I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there. Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right. So long!
Wonder what else is out there. There's so much more to learn about now.
We're getting some slight power fluctuations.
Just stay out of trouble.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Welcome back, Mr. Tofik. I am aware that this is your 8th visit to our resort. Your repeat patronage is much appreciated. Is there any assistance I may offer you today?
Actually, a question. Usually when I come here, the shuttle takes a certain route, showing me the beauty of this world. But this time, our entries seem to take longer, and we pass by a lot more open water. Is there something wrong with our normal flight path? I heard the rumors of a ship in orbit.
Please allow me to apologize for this inconvenience. This alternate entry was required due to a meteor shower affecting the usual descent route. Nothing to worry about. To make up for this, allow me to credit your account with a 15% discount on spa amenities. Once again, we are dreadfully sorry.
It's okay, Viator. I know you're programmed to be overly concerned with your service. I just wanted to know why, but thank you for crediting my account anyway. Hey, I noticed you arriving at port shortly after I did. Something's been bothering me, and I've been dying to ask another guest. They told us there was a very active meteor shower, which is why we had to divert our flight path coming in for our landing. But I haven't seen a single shooting star since I've been here. That's weird, right? You're probably right. I've just been feeling stressed as of late, and worrying about something silly like that will only make it worse. I should just relax here and let Paradiso melt away my worries like it always does. Thank you for grounding me.
Please, I have noted your repeat appearance at our resort. Thank you for your patronage. You have been automatically credited with 20% off your next stay.
Excuse me?
Oh, Paradiso is absolutely beautiful. Can you possibly imagine a more tranquil place for a resort?
Not to be a downer, but this place is lost.
I wish I had booked a stay for longer.
Hey. Yeah, this planet's pretty great, huh? There's a reason they named it after paradise, right? Name's a million, by the way. I work for the resort. You can come to me if any of the other staff here gives you trouble. Anyway, unless you need something else, I should probably get back to what I was doing. Gotta solve all the resort's problems before I can enjoy the Paradiso nightlife if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Well, I'm the shift manager, so I take care of my employees, so they can in turn take care of our guests. Got to make sure things run smoothly here, you know? I also used to run speed dating, but that's been put on hold. Wine tasting's still going strong for the all-inclusive guests, though. Of course, at night I party like everyone else. Between you and me, this place is great for casual hookups, if you know what I mean. What are you hinting at? Is that an invitation? 'Cause I already have plans tonight, but we could still... Oh, you were just asking about, like, in general. There's some talk about building a club, but that hasn't happened yet. So people tend to make their own nightlife. Me, I like to find that special someone and take him to the beach and just feel the cool ocean breeze while dancing on the sand to some chill music, you know? You know what? I definitely could. We just got a major recall on our air purifiers, and neither me or any of my staff are able to get off-world to pick up the replacement parts. Wow, that'd be great. You can pick up the purifier parts using this claim slip at the Unified Transport Facility at Gagarin Landing. It's a long-term storage facility where the parts are being kept. Just show the claim to the shipping manager, Akachi Rosenblum, and you'll get what we need. Thanks.
Oh, this looks like a lovely place for a stay. Might also be the perfect time to stop for some food or tranquility. Where should we begin?
Another lost belonging notification in the system. When am I going to find the time? Oh dear, a guest! Dreadfully sorry you had to hear my complaint. Hello, welcome to Paradiso. Dirk Huddleston at your service. Do you need assistance checking in for your... Oh, no, nonsense. Just a small scheduling issue. Some of our guests have misplaced their belongings, and I am responsible for finding and returning said belongings. Just one of the many services we are happy to provide here at Paradiso. Nothing to worry you about. May I continue to check you in? Very well. I can't guarantee we have any premium rooms available at the moment, but if you're still interested, we may... For one, our hotel rooms are quite luxurious. The executive suite is especially posh, but perpetually booked. However, I must say, even the economy rooms are exceedingly pleasant. You'll find our beach relaxing, and we have several top-notch shops and dining experiences. I particularly enjoy a spot of afternoon tea from Tranquility. Of course, we also have the galaxy's only gourmet chunks. And if you're feeling adventurous, I believe the Enhance is still running a very popular Paradiso Getaway Special. Broad question, but I'll try my best. Paradiso is the premier resort destination in the known universe. This planet is as perfect as one could possibly imagine. That is, assuming pristine beaches, constant beautiful sunny weather, and fabulous resort accommodations are to your liking. Porima 2 is owned independently by the Paradiso Group. We exist outside of the United Colonies and Freestar Collective, yet entertain visitors from both. The Paradiso Group is run by several board members, many of whom take residence within the resort itself. They established the resort as a getaway for all on the most beautiful planet in the universe, and I can tell you that there were substantial monetary investments to make sure of that. Technically, as the staff manager, Emilian is my boss, but I can forward your complaint up the chain. I will ensure that your concerns will be addressed. Emilian is very reasonable and would not take offense if you told him he is making you uncomfortable. I am certain he would respect your wishes if you talk to him, but if you do not feel comfortable speaking with him about it, I understand. The system shows that we do in fact have a room available. And what is your desired length? Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Oh, this is even better than in the brochure. It's lovely here.
Hey, sorry. Didn't mean to be rude and ignore you when you came in. I'm just trying to figure out the solution to a problem I'm having. What can I do for you? Matter of fact, I am. We keep losing business to Tranquility. It seems like they're always trying new things, new recipes. And well, we just have the same old coffee here. I have an idea, but I don't know if I have the skills to pull it off. A tea sommelier from Tranquility Corporate is on vacation here. I overheard them talking to Polly about some new tea product they're working on. If you could convince them, or otherwise get the recipe before it goes to market, I'm sure it will help me succeed. Maybe I can even move up the corporate ladder. All I know is that the sommelier has the recipe on a slate. Do whatever you want with that information. I just need that recipe. If they won't tell you the recipe, do whatever you can. Well, except for using violence. I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. I hope so. This could be the big break I'm looking for.
Catch the latest Red Mile run. Oofed. Anyway, what can I get for you? Hello! Welcome to Tranquility. If you fancy a cuppa, we have some new and classic blends that are sure to satisfy even the most discerning tea aficionado, whether you want to relax at the end of the day or energize yourself while watching the latest Red Mile feed. Oh, that's okay. We have some drinks you may still like. Even customers that don't typically enjoy tea tend to find something they love here. So, what can I... Oh, wow! I thought that was you. That last run was incredible. You know, you're generating a lot of buzz. There's a lot of talk that you're the next Donovan Reese. I wish you continued success. Well, if you want something strong, we have Earl Grey, breakfast or classic black tea. If you want something relaxing, we have chamomile or easy sleep. But if you want something more exotic to tickle your fancy, might I suggest lotus or sunray? Come back anytime for a wee cup of tea.
Don't worry about us. We're just here to keep the peace.
Welcome to Paradiso Gift Shop in Convenia. Feel free to look around, but don't break anything. And before you ask, there aren't any discounts, so don't even try to haggle with me. Why would I? I have to sell overpriced crap to rude, obnoxious tourists all day. My uncle works for the Paradiso board. When he said he could get me a job here, I expected an executive level job, not this. But it's not all bad. I don't have to worry about getting fired, and I live in Paradiso for free. Now, can I get you something, or are you going to keep asking questions about my life? No. Ugh. You people always think that just because we're some French planet and not part of the free stars or whatever, that we're happy to haggle for everything. I wouldn't even care, honestly. But they take it out of my pay if any money's missing, so no. Okay.
Thanks for shopping.
Between you and... Hi there. I've got a lot on my plate right now. During the day, I'm all... Let me know if I'm able to help with anything. Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you? I really don't, and I can't have you barging in on the executives while they're working. So if you need something, you can talk to me. That's the best I can do, I'm afraid. Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. See you next time.
It may be paradise, but that doesn't mean we don't run into trouble from time to time.
If the Paradiso board is busy, sure. Have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
Yes?
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them.
The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table.
Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Belom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront in a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
Just doing my part to make sure Paradiso remains a paradise.
I'm proud to say that revenue is up and costs are down.
I'll make some time for you, but keep it quick, yeah?
If you've heard about us elsewhere, chances are it's because of me.
Loads more interesting things to do outside. No need to mill about in here. No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine. We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes, we don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one mind, because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. Works for everyone. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm going to cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! Despicable? Hardly. Just a backup plan in case we can't get them to leave. But you're right, no one's gonna buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So tell me, what's the actual deal with this massive eyesore of a ship, besides scaring people away? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grab drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will. I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation: you. We operate outside of the Free Stars only, you see, partially because we don't want anyone else meddling in our affairs. And we'd rather not draw attention to it. As I've mentioned, it could be bad for business. We'd much rather settle this independently. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Well, absurd or not, that's our official stance. I make the decisions that are best for our entire group. You don't. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? Ah, good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constance engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck.
I know this was a difficult decision, but if it's any consolation, I think you've made the right choice. Compared to the destruction of their vessel and relegating them to a life of servitude, I'd say this is the best chance they've got.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
With a name like Paradiso, the marketing for this place writes itself.
Thanks for taking time to chat. I really need a friendly ear right about now. I received a message from Constellation, and it's given me a lot to think about. No, it's nothing like that. It's just a list of requests, things I would normally handle if I was there. But I'm not. I'm out here instead with you. Something like that. It's difficult to explain. Before I joined Constellation, I served for 8 years as the head of the Navigator Corps, until the UC decided to axe the department. Yeah, sure. Some more than others. You see, the top brass demanded press-worthy discoveries to justify the spending. and money was tight after the war. Shutdown was inevitable. At the end of the day, I was in charge, so the blame obviously fell on my shoulders. Oh, like hell I can't. You once told me that you favored the journey over the destination. So I'm hoping you'll understand what I'm trying to say. I failed because I was more concerned about exploring the stars than pushing a pencil. If I had fought harder, I'm convinced our division may have had a chance to prove its value. That's just it, though. Did I push too hard? Did they shut us down because I wasn't quietly sitting at my desk approving meaningless memos? We'll never know. Well, that brings us to this message now, doesn't it? Call it whatever you want. My drive, my initiative, my optimism. It's been my greatest strength and my worst nightmare. It elevates me to these positions of authority, but all I want to do is explore, not sit and make sure all the accounts are balanced. Yes, exactly. If it's obvious to you, imagine how obvious it is to someone like Barrett or Mateo. Oh, they must be itching to replace me by now. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Oh, here you are trying to help me and I'm yelling at you. You have to understand. Once Aja retired, I lost the only person that gave a damn. Oh, of course you aren't. Just the fact that you took time to listen means a lot. Look, I've already taken up too much of your time, and honestly, I'm exhausted. But thank you for being there and listening. It helped. It really did.
What's not?
Sure, we get the occasional bar fight, but it's usually pretty... New phase. Got some business with me, or just learning the lay of the land? The fact I'm in this ranger station, wearing this uniform, doesn't make that obvious? Well, it's a public space. As long as you don't interfere with my work, you're welcome to stop by any time. Ranger Niakalu. I'm a Hopetown girl born and raised, so I know a lot of the locals. Helps me do the job. That being said, keeping the peace around here is more the job of local security. Likewise. Think of it as a small picture, big picture proposition. The small picture is local trouble, things that happen here in Hopetown. Handling that is local security's job. We Rangers protect the entire Freestar Collective, so we deal with problems that span multiple worlds. Smuggling rings, escaped convicts, pirates preying on shipping. Those are the kind of things we handle. That's why there are Rangers stationed in different settlements. It lets us cast a wide net. Not usually. Local security handles most of their issues. Every once in a while, though, we need access to sensitive information as part of our work. Badge or not, some folks aren't fond of letting us poke around in their books and personnel files. Honestly, though, it's not that common. Most people are willing to work with us because they know it's in everyone's best interest. Bye.
I don't want to hear it.
Excuse me. A little desperate here. This is
I remember meeting Ron Hope
All right,
once.
Adela.
Idealistic
Oh,
and
God.
perhaps a bit of a dreamer. But you have to admire what he's accomplished.
When I signed on to be a freight captain, I was expecting long hours and dull routes. And now I'm a hair away from being executed. Or worse. You are sincerely the answer to my prayers. So, I fly a rust bucket called the Markab for a small shipping line. It just started, really. We do bulk shipping, boring stuff like actuators and seed stock and minerals. Have you ever had a standard, boring job just blow up in your face? You get it then. So I just got assigned to the Markab. The first shipment? Slag steel. Nothing special. As soon as I left Neon and got scanned, things got crazy. Spacers, Freestar security, the works. Everyone demanding I power down, hand over the contraband, or sometimes just firing first. I skipped the system, ditched the cargo, and have been running ever since. I don't know. I was just flying for my life, but some bad people want it. It gets even worse. A tracker just landed and I just know he's hunting a bounty. Me. But the trick is, everyone knows the ship. But my info isn't in the database yet. All they got is my last name, Fahim. So if you go into the pit stop and claim you're Captain Fahim of the Markab, maybe you can deal with... Listen, I just haul, well, garbage. But you, I mean, you're armed and look, well, awesome. I figure you could do a solid for the little guy, girl. Plus credits. I did mention the credits, right? The company is, well, a real train wreck. I'm amazed they even have my last name on file. For once, working for such a dump is a good thing. A member of the Trackers Alliance. You know, Bang Bang Dead or Alive bounty hunters? I don't know. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but he may not give you any choice. You are the best! This slate has everything they know about me. It's not... He's the one with the cowboy hat. Just stay safe.
Payday is always a good day.
Some rules. If there's one place there's some law and order in this town, it's... don't even think about stealing. No haggling. And might be some other one. I didn't start this way. Got myself robbed a few times, swindled a couple. So now I look out for number one. And it's not like there's anywhere else on this rock to buy weapons. You may be thinking this place is a dump, but the heart. Lots of customers pass through. We got something for everyone. A lot of my business is with travelers. Hopetown's the only patch of civilization anywhere near here. So I have to stock things that hit a little bit harder than home defense. Music to my ears.
Okay, hello.
Do you need something? I like it here. Very few rules. People know how to look the other way. And so many strangers coming and going all the time. A good place for business. Do you agree? It is no Neon, this is true. I have a small package that needs delivery to Aquila City. I need someone discreet. Not too many questions. Does it matter? I know little about you, you know little about me. This is the way I like it. Speak your mind. That's probably true. No, I haven't agreed to... Look, I'd like to help, but if you must know, Let's just say the Trade Authority fully approves of this endeavor. I will say no more than that. The package is contraband. If the authorities find it, it will not be good. If your ship has space for special cargo, then getting through security will be much easier. Can you handle a job like this? Deliver the package to Tom Sterrett. Just drop it off, no discussion, no question.
We absolutely should not be doing this delivery without knowing what's inside the container.
Do not get caught.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
Keep an eye on your valuables.
You can't protect your own. You don't belong
As vital as spaceships are to these settled systems, everything would grind to a halt without the Trade Authority. If I am not mistaken, you are new here. I hope you find Hope Town as full of opportunity as the Trade Authority does. A marvelous place, truly laissez-faire. If you have any difficult cargo to unload, I'm happy to oblige. It is true that the Trade Authority is just terrible at inspecting cargo manifests. We really plan on getting better at it. So, do you... I've never been much for offices or a storefront. But here, people from all over the system come here. A true crossroads.
Hello.
Hey. Looks like another newcomer. Welcome to the... We have a little bit of... What, Just once I want to hear someone's here for a honeymoon or for the annual Ice Night drinking competition. A word of warning, it can get a little rowdy here. Keep your gun holstered and there won't be any problems. Well, you just became my favorite customer. You need anything? We got more than booze here. People like to grouse, but truth is, Hopetown's the brightest spot on this planet. Deep down, all of us are beyond grateful to Mr. Hope. But the workers work hard and play hard too, so it's best not to drop your guard.
Oh man, you missed that? The whole place.
Most people come from hard work on the farms, and Hope Tech is light years better than that. But it could be better. Anytime people start getting upset, Hope Tech changes things. But it seems to me they're just doing the bare minimum to keep the workers happy. There's almost always a few visitors here for Hope Tech, but mainly it's all us locals trying to get by. There was a deep hauler said she picked up some sort of distress call in the Charybdis system. Responding to distress calls can be quite lucrative if you're ship. Here's the menu.
Wrong hope.
I'm telling you.
As dives go, this place ain't bad. I'm new in town. You look like you just got... What's your name, stranger? Fahim, huh? Came in on that ship, the Markup? I bet you didn't know it. But I'm a tracker. And I'm here for your bounty. Two ways this can go. You know the drill.
Yeah, they never see me coming. But something don't sit right with me. Not sure what. Maybe. The bounty is awfully large for what they're saying. All right, I'm not taking you in. But that just means somebody else will. Whatever you were shipping, you got to return it. The next tracker probably won't be as upstanding as I am. Suit yourself. But you may want to re-up your life insurance policy. One more drink.
Yes, what?
Look at you! Look at you! I can hardly believe it.
It's great to see you. How is Ma?
Oh, same as usual. Except now all she does is goes on and on about how her youngest has made it. Tells everyone you met me.
I mean, Ron hopes, well, friendly and incredible. But everyone on the factory floor walks into him on occasion. It's not that big a deal.
My brother. Big shot at Hope.
Let's get you some dust.
Some of the underperformers really are.
This can't be happening. I feel like I can finally breathe again. You're right. You're a literal life.
Just keep it holstered. We'll all get along fine.
Workers like to play hard.
Ron Hope certainly embodies the saying, spared no
Welcome to Hope
expense.
Tech Sales. Give me your invoice. You got the financing set up already? You don't? Wait, you're a solo outfit, aren't you? Well, what you need to know about our ships is they're from stern to bow, built for reliability. Other star yards might got glitz or some weird crazy lines. With Hope Tech, you get people that care about you making that 300 freight run safely and on time. A smart person chooses substance over form every time. Sound familiar? So what are you in the market for? So we need a small shipment. 500. Come back later then. Whoa. If you change your mind, come back.
Ron Hope's a damn hero.
We could save valuable weight if we got rid of the pilot seat. Maybe. Sure. That sounds like me. What can I do for you? Oh, you should have just said that. Of course I can help you. Oliver sent a courier ahead of you. I did some research on ships from that era, and I have a decent idea what we're dealing with. So grav drives didn't really take off until after the ship was built. But I've got access to an ancient grav drive that looks like it could be compatible. With some minor adjustments. It's in good shape, too. Parts not cheap, though. Neither is the labor. Just pay the combined cost of parts and labor, and it's yours. It's a pretty big ask. You know, sorry to hear. I'll still be here if you scrounge up the... Hope Tech needs brave. As you know, Bryce still stands for... You're darn right it is. I recommend you go back to the ship and ask the captain to prepare for its retrofit. Standard stuff. I'm sure they have an engineer on board to help. We'll send the part along when it's ready and install it with the help of Oliver's people. Pleasure working with you.
You ever check out the prices at Trident? Goodbye, like a fleet of home
I hope you're having a great visit to Home Tech. We're building a brighter future for the whole Freestar Collective here. Yes? Hey.
As long as you keep the peace, you're good.
Enjoy your visit, if you'll excuse me. Mr. Hope is a vital part of not only Bolivar, but of the entire Freestar Collective.
If you're looking, do you mind? I don't. I started with nothing. And built everything.
Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task. What grab drive? Just joking with you. The Paradiso engineers filled me in. Okay. All right. This will be fun. And hopefully there will be no explosions in the process. I have just received word that the drive is here. Great. There are 3 preparations I need you to help me make while I set things up on my end. First thing I need you to do is reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Then, turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Last, you'll need to decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. Got it?
Our little commute.
Looks like everything is good to go on both your end and mine.
Now that you're here, we didn't believe anyone would... Well, it would appear we have the means to go nearly anywhere now, thanks to you. The engineers even upgraded our communications equipment so we can speak with passing ships. Turns out it was a pretty easy fix. Thank you again for... Without you, we'd most likely be stuck. But you went above and beyond. I'll make sure people tell tales of your generosity for as long as our society lives. I don't know if we can ever fully repay you.
Thank God. I figured if I talked myself hoarse on the comms, the cavalry would come. I was expecting some Freestar militia, but any port in a storm, I guess. From what I've seen already, gladly. Before Spacers broke into the outpost, I was relaying orders for Lieutenant Torres. Torres ain't bad as far as COs go, but
would have been flat out murdered if it weren't for the
So,
this is... You see a Marine, don't shoot. They're friendlies.
I live to see the day where the UC and the FC work hand in hand.
Roger. So first things first, the makeshift infirmary isn't gonna hold. They set up on the ground floor in the security section. The whole place is on lockdown, so you'll have to talk to, Lazama. He's the only thing between them and... Here's hoping it's not just me still standing. Be safe, be bold. A dead soldier ain't no help to no one.
This is it.
Corporal Izama, UC Marines, medic. We thought we were done for. And meet the esteemed doctor. Musa, right? It's his party we're crashing. Mahoney's a machine. She's wasted on this rock. And this... what the heck are you guys doing here anyway? Doctor. Doctor!
Yes. Yes. Astrobiology. We study non-Terran life forms in the settled systems. We, seek to understand the various flora and fauna and search for practical uses. No. They've been trying to take over the whole system. For months.
Listen, we can't waste time. The Freestar CO, Lieutenant Torres, he locked down the complex. I'm not sure how long he can keep his troops safe.
Last I saw Torres was on the 3rd floor, near my office.
Take this key and get to Torres. It should open everything except the security doors. Get to Torres before his men are wiped out. Good luck.
What, you think she's a spacer? She's the one that cleared him out.
Don't the spacers realize we're trying to help them? Help everyone.
These damn spacers.
Someone's been taking out
Too many of them. I don't believe it. Are they all...
Thanks to the stranger, every last one of them is down. Some fancy work? How many more are there with your unit? You got sniper support or something? Holy shit. The two of you did all of that.
All in a day's work.
We have to help Captain Myung. She's behind the barrier door.
But she's not Freestar, Lieutenant. Our first priority is our men and our scientists.
She came in to save us, Sergeant, when no one else would. I don't care. Her men have risked their lives, died for us.
But Lieutenant, they're the UC, we can't...
Sergeant, I am ordering you to help us save those Marines. But how?
We got a security override key. If the Marines are still alive, they'll be by the other entrance. We all work together. We should be able to save them. Or die trying.
There are soldiers that need us. You...
Here's the security key.
No. Truthfully, they would still be pinned down if it weren't for them.
Huh. You don't got the look of a Marine. Certainly not. What, the explorers? I didn't know you guys packed such a punch. Captain Myung, UC Marines.
Veteran of the Colony Wars, the shield of Parduk Pass. Best damn Marine in the service.
And that loudmouth is Private Psy. If she wasn't such a hell of a soldier, she'd be polishing latrines for the next decade. You've saved lives here, and that is something I won't forget.
Captain Myung. You're a legend. I heard about you when I was working with the United Colonies. And you're here.
My reputation precedes me, eh? I've always wanted to say that. I'm in the business of saving civilian lives. I figure this research up.
If Mast found out, there could be a court-martial.
The captain, and all her Marines. Well, we'd all be dead if it weren't for them.
You lot may be Freestar, but you're ground pounders first. I wasn't about to let you all die ignobly to those rabid spacer bastards. You've got spirit. That's what... We've bought ourselves an old-fashioned stay of execution here, but it won't last long. The bastards are disorganized, undisciplined rabble. But they got spaceships and we don't. That means they can keep dropping reinforcements until they greatly outnumber us. Then the cowards will hit us. Hard. Give me a few years and I'd make you a Marine to be...
I have a more immediate problem, Captain. I have troops and civilians in the field. If we don't act, the Spacers could take them out. I can't abandon them.
Damn it. What sort of leader would you be if you did? But we need every trained soldier to fortify and get the defenses back online.
Mahoney said their last transmission indicated they were in trouble. If you could perhaps take your ship to the research camp and clear out any Spacers. They went dark not too long ago, so hopefully they are still survivors. Just go quickly and safely.
Many of them. You saved us.
These Spacers are terrible.
Corporal Mahoney radioed you coming, but I didn't know if we could hold out. But you're a regular hero. I don't doubt it for a second. Mahoney said for us to go to ground. There's a cave nearby we're going to hole up in until this is all over. Don't worry, I'll keep the civvies safe from here.
Mahoney said the research camp is all clear. I don't know where we'd be without you.
Most likely decomposing in some unmarked grave. Good on you both for making that mission of mercy a priority. Our job is to protect the civvies and never leave a soldier behind. There ain't much room for honor in this damn business, so we have to hold on to what we can.
Captain, you should bring up your plan. I believe it's a good one.
The Spacers haven't attacked yet, but they've been shuttling men down beyond the ridge. We cannot let them keep reinforcing, otherwise they'll overwhelm us. So we need to take out their ships. The only rest a Marine gets is in the grave.
I concur with the captain. We can't hold out if we don't cut off their manpower.
The Spacers have 2 fighter groups. If you take those out, the enemies... So, launch that fancy ship of yours and get to work.
People.
That's the price of command, Torres. Every decision leads to blood. You can drive yourself crazy with counterfactuals. Focus on the good you did. We did, here. Some things, you never get over.
Altair's safe because of you. Both of you. I almost want to write back to the Freestar and ask them to give you a medal.
Now, wouldn't that be the damnedest thing? I could put it on right next to my meritorious star. You'd save me a court-martial if you just give me your thanks. Might be you want your medal, though. Looks like we have ourselves an old-fashioned mercenary.
I'm not sure if I would have done all this if the roles were reversed, Myung. But I will never forget you.
You're young, and you've got a future ahead of you. I've been passed up for promotion more times than I can count because I've always stuck by my principles. There's a million ways the bastards in command will ask you to compromise. Little ways, big ways. Don't. It may hurt your career, but I look back with pride at my service. Especially today. You see?
I sincerely hope I never see you across the lines on the battlefield, Captain.
If you do, Lieutenant, I will do my duty.
Not if I do my duty first.
Soldiers, it's time to get out of the
Scientists here are good people. Spacers have been the problem in the system since I was stationed here. For a long time, they just go after targets of opportunity. We bloodied their nose a time or two, but every week there was just more of them. Until, I guess, they decided they could deal with us once and for all. When the Marines first landed, I thought that maybe they had a secret alliance with the Spacers. But quickly it became clear that they were here to help. Against all reason. I don't know if I'd have the courage or humanity of Captain Myung if the tables were turned. I'd like to think I would. Yes. Goodbye.
Look around. Say, I will not lie. I wrestled with it. We listened to the distress calls for hours, and it gnawed on me. At a certain point, I just couldn't sit on the sidelines and let them die. My soldiers weren't all in favor of it, but they were willing to follow my lead. Since I've been here, I know what I did was right. Lieutenant Torres may be green, but he's a good man. His troops are brave, worthy of their uniform. Together, we have a fighting chance. If I get court-martialed over this whole boondoggle, at least I can look myself in the mirror at night. Torres is green, no two ways about it. But there's more to command than experience. There's heart. My guess is Torres has a bright future ahead of him. True enough. To get out of this, the price will be paid in blood. We operate a refueling depot. The brass back home got tired of Spacers hitting the damn place, so they sent us. As soon as we showed up, the Spacers went for easier targets. It's been... Let's get this done.